I'm Nikki and I'm one of the community and schools outreach coordinators for Maths on Toast, the family maths charity who want you to feel positive about maths. So we've developed a range of creative and fun maths activities that you can enjoy together as a family.
Hi, I'm Susan. You may recognise me if you've ever been to one of our monthly library sessions. Sadly, we can't get into the library at the moment to run our drop-in sessions, so we thought, well, why not make it a stay-in session instead and bring the Maths on Toast fun to you, in your home.
That's right, Susan. And so for our first session, we're going to be exploring how maths is everywhere. Right? Actually, as I look around, all I can see are the walls, a table, the board. What do you see? Susan?
I see pretty much the same as you, Nikki. I see the pictures on the wall, TV, laptop in front of me, but spotting the maths can sometimes be a bit tricky. If I was to ask you at home, can you see any maths? You might say, I can see maths in the clock. When I'm telling the time, that's maths. Or you might say when I'm baking a cake and I'm using measurements, that's definitely maths. Or even when I'm in a shop and I'm counting out the money or counting my change to make sure it's correct, that's maths. And you're right, that is all maths. But maths is so much more than that. It's all around us. It's in the patterns and the shapes and the lines that we see. It's also in fruit and flowers. What we need is something to help us spot the maths. Have you got any ideas, Nikki?
It's okay, Susan. I think I've got the perfect solution. Maths glasses. Hold on a second. Here we go. Let's see if these work. Aha! Yes. Oh. Gosh, it's just, oh my goodness, it's just everywhere. Hold on a second. Before I start talking about it, I think we all need to get ourselves a pair of maths glasses.
Maths glasses. Good idea. I've got some of those. What shape do you think mine are? They've got 6 sides. What shape has 6 sides? Yes, of course, hexagon. And to make them maths glasses, I've actually put some triangles on there, some repeating patterns. I've also got some parallel lines. I don't know whether you can see. And maths glasses are really fun to make, and we can make some today. All you'll need is a template from our website, and you should be able to see the link just here. But if you can't get onto our website for any reason, don't worry, you can still make them. You'll just need some paper or card, some scissors, a pencil. You might want a ruler if you want to draw some straight lines, some pencils, felt tips, chalk, something to decorate with, or even some craft materials. If you want to go and get all those things now, just press pause on our video and we'll see you in a little while.
Oh, sorry, Susan. I've been distracted by all the maths that's everywhere. Hold on, I'm taking these off. Yeah, that's better. Right, yes, let's get to it. So, making our glasses. What we want to do is think about, first of all, what lens, what shape of lens we're going to put here. Maybe to help us, we could stand up and have a little think about the shapes that we want to do. So, for example, if I go like this, what shape is that? And I could try something else. Hold on a second, you'll lose me for a bit as I become a... And I'm thinking, this one, what's this one? This is a square. It's a bit hard to do on my own. Maybe I could get someone to help. Susan, what do you reckon? Do you think you could help make my square if I do that?
Ooh, I'll have a go. Let's see. So you are that way. So if I do that, does that work?
Yay, really great shapes. Take photos of them. Post them on social media and tag us in at Maths on Toast. We'd love to see them. So have you chosen your shape? Okay, let's go. So there's two ways of doing this. You can do things freehand using a ruler to measure things out. For example, a square has 4 equal sides, so they might all want to be 7 centimetres. Or you could do it a little bit more freehand. You could draw around something. So for example, if you wanted to do a circle, use something to draw around, or a square, I could draw around that. But yes, you choose the challenge that's right for you. So maybe I'll start off with a circle. Now, you'll see on your sheet of paper that there is a bit that will attach to the arms, a bridge, the bit that goes over your nose, and then the other side for the other lens. So you want to start off by doing your lens in between these two parts. So I'm going to just draw around my circle now. It doesn't quite meet, but that's okay, and you'll see why in a second. And don't worry if, as you're doing this, you make any mistakes, because you could just use a rubber, or when you come to cut them out, you'll find that you can cut out any things that have, any errors that you've made. Now, you get started on your first lens too. Let's see if we can get that one down. And of course, if you're measuring with your ruler, then don't forget to just put that up against, start at 0 and measuring. Okay, so I've got my first lens. How's yours getting on? Good. Now, my second lens, I probably want to do the same again, a little bit like I did with my square lenses, and Susan's done with her hexagon lenses. But you might want to try something different. So let's have a look at how Susan might have made her hexagon lenses. For this, I'm going to do a regular hexagon, one where all the sides are the same length. And I'm going to start on this side over here. And I'm going to use a little bit of measuring skills, but I'm also just going to play a little bit freehand and just see how it all goes. Now, the first easiest bit is to do the 2 side lines. And then they need to come together with 2 more lines at the top and 2 more lines at the bottom. Now, I might have made these a bit big. That's okay though. Like I said, I can cut out any mistakes. So if I go to about there maybe, and the same on the other side, I think that should be all right. Have you started on your second lens yet? Okay, how's your second lens going? I'm going to finish off the bottom now, and while I'm doing that, shall we see how Susan's getting on with hers? I think she might have already finished both lenses, but let's have a look.
So I finished drawing my shapes. I decided on squares for today. Don't forget, once you've drawn your shapes, you will need to draw some smaller shapes inside, and that's so you can cut them out and you'll be able to see through your glasses. Once you've done that, you're ready to decorate. So you may want to colour your glasses with felt tips or pencils. You may want to put some numbers or shapes or lines or patterns on there to make them your maths glasses. If you don't want to use pencils or felt tips, you may want to use some craft materials, so like pom-poms and bits of felt, which is great, and I'm going to do that today. If you're decorating with craft materials, it's better to cut out the pieces first and then stick your bits on. If you're just colouring today, then probably best to colour first and then cut it out. So I'm going to start off with my cutting. I think Nikki's probably just about done with her colouring, so I'll hand you back to Nikki and let's see how she's getting on.
Thanks, Susan. Looking like they're coming on well. How's everyone getting on at home? So yes, I am nearly finished with my colouring in, my decorating. Just a couple of points to make with my circle. Remember I said it didn't matter that my circle that I drew around was smaller. I drew my rim bigger than the smaller circle. But with my hexagon, I measured 1 centimetre from the outer rim, and so now my inner rim is a little bit smaller. Okay, now my colouring in, I went for some triangles, I went for some parallel diagonal lines, and here I've practiced and tried a few tessellating patterns. So I'm just finishing off my tessellation down at the bottom here. It's quite nice to play around with colours and see different patterns, and hopefully when we put our maths glasses on we might see that out in the world as well. Okay, so to the cutting out. Now, scissors can be dangerous, so please make sure that you have an adult with you, or if necessary an adult to do this section. And we're going to cut around the lines, obviously, but you'll see here that there is a dotted line. Do not cut that, just the hard lines there. Okay, so I'm going to get started, and then I think Susan will be able to show us how we put everything together, and hopefully you will be able to join in with us. So there we go. So as you can see, I'm just going to cut around my circle. Along my bridge. Cutting out some of the colouring over and some of the lines that have gone over. Okay, and I'm just going to cut out that connecting bit. If you printed it off, you'll see the connecting bit's got a Maths on Toast logo. If you weren't able to print off and you drew your own, then that's also absolutely fine. Okay, so now that I have cut out the outside of my lenses, I just want to show you an important point about cutting out the inside of your lenses. I can't see through them, so I need to cut out these middle bits. Now, a little tip is that you fold it in half, but don't press it down tight, and just while it's folded, snip with your scissors. That way you'll create a little hole, and you can put your scissors into that hole like so, and then you can cut all the way to the, careful now, inner rim only. So don't cut all the way out to the edge, just to that inner line. And when you get there, you can cut around that line, and you should find that you've not needed to cut through the rim, and you have a nice hole with which to see through. So let's just see that working. There we go, like that. So let's do the other one. Do you remember what we need to do? Fold it, but gently. Snip it. Create the hole. Slot your scissors in. Cut to the inner rim only, and then along that inner rim only, the inner line only, all the way around. And feel free to take your time doing this, you don't need to rush it. Okay, and then finally join those cuts up, and again I have another hole. And I just realised I haven't actually decorated my bridge, so I'll be able to do that afterwards. And finally I'm going to cut out the arms. So remember I said Might seem obvious, but it's good to mention, do not cut the dotted line. Okay, so I'm going to cut out my arms now. And because I coloured a little bit untidily, I can now cut off those untidy bits that have gone over the lines.
So these maths glasses, I've decided to make them symmetrical, which means that they match. They're the same on each side. So this side is almost like a reflection of this side, if you looked in the mirror. I've also done the same with the arms of my glasses. Okay, so I've made them symmetrical. Now to put them together, you'll notice that you've got some dotted lines on the arms. You just need to fold along the dotted lines, like that. You see? So I've folded them. And then you need to pop a little bit of glue on. And you're going to stick them to the sides of your glasses. And you should be able to see there is a little piece of toast. So you're just going to stick it to the back of the piece of toast. So I'm going to do that with both arms. This one. There's the other one. If you didn't have glue, you could use tape. You might be able to use a paper clip, something like that. Okay, and now I'm just going to wait for them to dry so they're stuck nice and securely. Ta-da! Once your glasses are dry, you can pop them on, and then you're ready to get out and about, spotting the maths that's all around you. So you can go around your home, all the different rooms, you can go outside in the garden, and I think Nikki has already started, so let's see what she's already spotted.
So I've started looking around the house with my maths glasses on, and indeed I'm discovering maths where I didn't notice it before. For example, this ordinary keyboard. Obviously the maths is there with the digits 1 through to 9 and the 0 there on the end as well. But there's more in this keyboard. With my maths glasses, I'm seeing these shapes. What are these shapes here? And then here? And actually, are they 2D? Or if I move this way, interestingly, they become 3D. And the shapes change. That's not a square anymore. Wow. And actually, I'm loving the pattern and the shapes upon shapes that these shapes are creating. So for example, if I zoom back out again, these rectangles and squares all come together to make a nice big rectangle. Something that I can really see a lot clearly on this side panel, a nice neat rectangle, and actually more patterns. If I zoom in at the digits again, not necessarily looking at counting 1 to 9, but I love the fact that this pattern is made. There's like a square by 3 by 3. So 3 times 3. It's making the shape of a square, and 3 times 3 is a squared number. But if I pull out a little bit, then I have another row of 3. So now I have 4 lots of 3. It's not a squared number anymore, but it's great to see that pattern continuing. 4 times 3, and then 5 times 3.
The first thing that I've spotted with my maths glasses is this wall. There are lots of rectangular bricks, and they're put together to make a repeating pattern. We call that a tessellation, a pattern that repeats with no overlaps and no gaps. I bet you can spot a repeating pattern somewhere in your house.
Look at my tablecloth. There are lots of dots or circles, and they're creating this fantastic pattern which seems really random, but is actually very well organised. Can you see how they are straight lines? And if I zoom in a little bit more to focus on just a few of those dots, I can see like a diamond shape, or if I turn my camera this way, it becomes almost like a square. And maybe even if I zoom out a bit further, there's like a cross. And they're organised in lines that are parallel. What patterns can you see?
Ah, I see the same pattern as you, Nikki, but the circles are much smaller and closer together here. But I can still see the diamonds that you were talking about, and if I turn this way, I can see the squares and the parallel lines. In fact, I can see lots of parallel lines here on the blinds. Lots and lots of them. And if I move further out, then I can see lots of long rectangles too. And up here on the bunting, what shape's that? Triangles. Can you see any triangles? Or circles or rectangles where you are?
I've always thought that these tiles were really pretty. But now that I've got my maths glasses on, I'm actually starting to see some maths in their beauty. If I zoom out a little bit, you'll see that there are 4 tiles here, and the way they've been placed together shows symmetry. This one is reflected to this one, is reflected to this one, is reflected to this one. Can you spot the lines of symmetry? There's one here, because this pattern here, is symmetrical to this pattern here. Even these little triangles in there, they are symmetrical. Do you have any symmetrical patterns in your home? And coming outside, I can really see the maths everywhere. It's out here too. Can you see it? Go on, put your maths glasses on. Can you see the beautiful patterns? The repetition? The different sizes of things? And oh, look over here. There's a pine cone. Wow, look at the patterns and the shapes on that. And oh, look at that. If I look really carefully, I think I can see the Fibonacci sequence. Have you heard about that? If not, go to our website. We've got some information on it and even an activity you can try.
Let's see if my maths glasses will help me find some right angles. Right angles are 90 degrees, and you'll find them where 2 perpendicular lines meet. So, here. And you find right angles in squares and rectangles.
A lot of fun. Oh gosh, look at the state of me. Let me just take these off. Wow, that was true. Maths is everywhere. What did you find out? Why don't you send us an email and let us know? info@mathsontoast.org.uk, or you could share something on social media, and don't forget to tag us in at Maths on Toast. We're on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, so we'd love to see photographs of your glasses or the maths that you have found. And don't forget, you can wear your glasses at any time, not just around the home. So why not put them on your next trip to the park, or when you go to the shops, or even on the way to school? You might find even more amazing maths. Anyway, I think that's all we've got time for today. Be sure to tune into our next family stay-in session. It's going to be on the 17th of October at 2:30. And again, if you're not able to tune in at that exact time, all our videos will remain online for you to enjoy. So until that next time, stay safe. Bye.